Monika, I think one of the things I've been excited about our conversations and just getting to know you is, my question is, what's kind of practically working at the community level? And when you see people that you're engaging with that are struggling with loneliness, what are you seeing? How are they finding ways out of loneliness, or staying in that loneliness and finding a way to find peace with it? What are some of those practical pathways you're seeing in your work?
I guess one thing that I'm seeing in my work, which is more on a different level, but I do think it's interesting, that loneliness seems to be like a natural leveler for people to come together. And I think we need more of those. It's like beauty, it's like awe, it's like these kinds of like human experiences that you connect through on an emotional level. But you could also talk about it on a very intellectual level, of course. Everybody, because it's so universal, like everybody knows what it is. And at the same time, there's a whole like space of curiosity of what is it for you and how do you deal with it? So I find that quite interesting, that very different people feel called to connect through that experience almost. And that because of that, there's more of a sense of being vulnerable. So that's maybe not as practical, but it is effective, like spaces that allow us to be soft and hard at the same time. And that first and foremost creates space for listening rather than talking. I've seen that people have such a longing to be really heard, because we're so surrounded by lots of messagings and talking and like opinions. So to give people an undivided attention for 3 minutes, right, and really listen to them without interrupting, without wanting to give them advice, just being like, I'm here for you, I hear you, right? I care, I'm coming from a sense of care, I think is very, very powerful, and practicing this skill, right? And then I think doing things together, like activities. So joint activities that feel very light, I guess, and also inviting, inclusive, where people have like fun playing almost, like where you're not so much in your mind, where you move, you dance, you singing together. Oh my God, like nobody can sing, doesn't matter. Nobody can dance, doesn't matter, right? Like really involving your body, going out into nature, being surrounded by beauty and awe. And then maybe the last part, right? Again, this sense of differences. So learning from each other and people that you wouldn't normally interact with. Much older people, much younger people, people from different class, different part of the city that you would normally not interact with because you are in your bubble. That helps people to be like, first of all, I'm not alone in my loneliness. And also, again, I see a little bit less, or I feel a little bit less of that ego self and take myself as something great and whatever, but I see myself as part of community and something greater.
Yeah, I mean, even the way you did that at our last event, we were together at the House of Group, beautiful business with the dance, which is very hard for me to do, but it was great. It was great. But it just created a completely different environment in the room. And I think the next event I was at after that, we didn't dance. It was a bit too serious of a group to do that. But incorporating, poetry, incorporating nature, we had someone help lead a song at dinner that night. All those things completely changed the dynamic to where people are more connected to each other. So I'm learning from you, Monika, on how to bring these things into events.